So I made it to the Bronx. I'm at Mount St. Michael's Academy up in the north side of the Bronx, and we're going for a walkthrough through the project. I love when we get to go on different adventures, and we're gonna have a nice weekend and start it on Monday. Tom's explaining everything right now.
So our entrance is going to be through that fence panel. There's a nice alleyway that comes down the side. We can bring all the materials right into here on machines, and then we're just working in this area. You know, it's the Bronx, so it is a little bit, tricky. This pond is like 60 years old.
And you're saying that grotto right there is staying?
Is staying. The pond is 20 by 25, and it's a goldfish, nothing crazy. It's really just turning this courtyard back into something that's functional for the school and the priests that live here. This is Mount St. Michael's Academy in the heart of the Bronx. It's a prestigious academy. Their goal is to get this pond back up and running. It was filled with fish. We have all the fish back at our shop, and now we're gonna, over the next 2 weeks, we're gonna make some magic happen.
Here we go.
So we just pulled in to the parking lot and we're about to unload the machine here. Raphael will be joining us later on this morning. So for right now, it's just the three of us, and we're able to start getting ready and prepping for the demolition of the old pond. So one of the things we knew about was we needed to take down the fence piece. This is our exit and entrance into the backyard. So let's talk a little bit about this project. We are at Mount St. Michael's Academy here in the Bronx, and the reason why we were here is we were chosen out of 3 different companies. They wanted us to come out here and redo the old pond that's been here for 20 years. I was just talking to Brother Dominic, and he was just telling me that the fountain area is really important for the brothers that are here. It's a retirement home for the brothers, and they want to make it safe because a lot of the guys are in walkers and some maybe even in wheelchairs. That's going to be kept into consideration as we do this project. Wow, the guys are quick. They already started dismantling and draining the water back here. The water is all pumped out. They are moving along nice and quick. We already took the Virgin Mary statue out of the back, and that's in a safe place, and they're gonna redo it. Now we're gonna take the rest of that block out of there, remove the old liner, remove all these hostas to save them later on, and then we can start digging. The old pond was just right in that area, and now the pond is coming out all the way out to the edge of the new walkway right here. We'll also have a nice little raised area on the pond. That way it's a little buffer and aid, so no one can actually wheel their wheelchairs into the pond or accidentally step into the pond. We wanna make a nice little barrier, and right where the excavator is sitting is where that greening area is gonna be for the pond. I came up with a cool idea with a couple of slabs of bluestone, and it's gonna be really neat, because you'll be able to either sit there or come right up close. So they got all that liner and fabric out of the hole, and all that coping stone is out of here. Ralphie's up in the excavator here, and he's excited to start ripping the concrete out. Hopefully this stuff comes out pretty easily. It's been here for years. Let's see what happens on the first scoop. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Ralphie. Ah. All right, he's making some progress here. So guess what? We're at that good old Warwick General Rental here in Warwick, New York. And I just picked up that compressor with a 90-pound jackhammer so we could take it back to the Bronx in the morning and start hammering the concrete. I left the site a little early today so we could be ready in the morning to get going, because we want to try to get the liner in by the end of day 2. That's our goal, and we always set goals, and it's really important to try to meet them so we can stay on schedule. While the guys are hammering away in the back, me and Felipe just laid out the plywood here for the rock delivery tomorrow morning. We also put a nice piece of fabric here behind the truck just to protect the area, and we don't have to clean up any rubble, because he's gonna be bringing some of that concrete and we're gonna load it into the back of that dump truck and get it out of here. There's no place on site. Unfortunately, that little MT-100 needs to run along this building to the back side. So each trip is gonna take a little while, but if we do it a little bit each day, we'll have all the debris out, I think, by the end of the week. Let's go check out how the guys are making out on the rest of that concrete. They had a little more to bust out. And then once they get that out, we can start digging the pond. We'll set the biofall in so we can put some soil around the biofall. And then we can start messing with our elevations back there. One thing about jackhammering, sometimes you don't know how long it's gonna take. And it could take a while. I've been on jobs where it takes 3, 4, 5 days. This one here was only about 3/4 of a day worth of demolition, so we got lucky. So a little project update to end the day. We got all the concrete out that needed to be, and we started filling in the areas to make a shelf along the back side there. The rest of that concrete and rock structure that you see right there will stay, and the Virgin Mary will go back up into that little grotto. Tomorrow we'll clean up that edge of the wall and batten our liner right up against there. We'll probably start placing rocks first tomorrow before we do that batten. We don't want to have tight liner once we set rocks, so we'll set all our rock. Believe it or not, right back there is almost a foot deep. It's almost level to where I am. And that's because there will be a 1-foot high curb going in the front here. It'll be a nice little viewing area, and it'll be a blocker from people with wheelchairs and walkers from falling in the pond. So we got the pond all sprayed out. We wanted to make sure that the pond is centered on this walkway. So when the landscape contractors come in here, they have a perfect center mark coming down the walkway. The Virgin Mary, like I said before, will be back up in there. We're gonna have to seal the liner with some batten strip tomorrow. Like I spoke about yesterday, we're gonna start digging this out. We brought a little sand to level areas, especially the deep bottom area. We don't know what we're gonna find. All the material that's excavated out of here will go on the sides of that mound. My goal is to also get the skimmer in over there. And the reason for that is I wanna make sure the skimmer is in place so we have the perfect water height set and we're not messing around with a benchmark. The 6,000 biofall will go over there. Right now, what you see in front of you is actually a foot down in the water because we're gonna raise the pond up a foot. So we're technically somewhere around 16 inches down. The whole pond will raise up 1 foot. One thing on the dig on this pond, we're only gonna be able to dig half of it because we gotta be able to reach back there and set boulders along that back shelf as well as in the bottom of the pond. So in order to do that, we'll only dig half of the pond, fold the liner over, set those boulders, and then we'll be able to dig the rest of the pond and fold the liner back. Here's a little update on our morning progress here. Digging is going well. That's the bottom of the pond right there. Behind me, along the bottom of that concrete grotto thing right there, Alicio's been taking that area and making it smooth for the liner to attach there. Felipe is gonna go get some sand from the truck, and we're gonna level out that back area there. I just made a nice ramp down into the bottom of the pond so the MT100 could drive in there and dump sand along that back edge. We'll level that shelf out, and once we get this all set with sand, we'll get the fabric, liner in the hole, and then fabric again. And by lunchtime, we should be able to start setting some rock today.